Welcome to the Lindsay Allen Show. Thanks for joining us today. North Idaho is rich with history about Native Americans, gold and silver rushes, military bases, logging booms, and more. But did you know our city and region would not be what it is today without steamboats? That's right, I said steamboats. Steamboats were an integral part of not just the economic development of our region, but they spearheaded tourism as we know it today. In 1879, while Fort Coeur d'Alene was still under construction, the post commander saw a need for water transportation. He convinced the government to authorize the construction of a steamboat, and a ship designer named C.P. Sorensen was hired out of Portland to build the boat on the lake. This first boat was named after the post commander's daughter, Amelia Wheaton, and C.P. Sorensen was named full-time captain. Fun fact for you guys, Sorensen chartered the waters of Lake Coeur d'Alene and named the majority of the bays and the points. We even have an elementary school named after this guy. In 1881, A.J. Pritchard discovered gold in the Coeur d'Alene Mountains, and by 1883, thousands of miners had made their way to the area. The need to transport these workers and freight was high, so the Amelia Wheaton was reassigned to make the trek up the Coeur d'Alene River to the towns of Gem, Murray, and Pritchard. In 1884, silver was discovered in Burke Canyon, and a year later, Noah Kellogg discovered the Bunker Hill mine. The problem now was how to get all this ore from the mountains to the smelters in Montana. A fleet of steamboats was created, and this actually helped spur the growth of the Silver Valley and the towns of Kellogg, Wallace, and Mullen. As railroads became more prolific and more lines were added in the area, the use of the steamboat for transporting ore and miners diminished. This was not the end of the steamboat era on Lake Coeur d'Alene, though. As the population of the inland Northwest grew, there became a great demand for pleasure travel, and Coeur d'Alene became noted for their steamboat excursions. The weekend excursions became one of the most popular tourist attractions in the inland Northwest. The electric railroad brought thousands of passengers from Spokane right to the docks on Lake Coeur d'Alene, where they could board a steamer and take a leisurely cruise on the lake and up the St. Joe River. In addition to the tourism of the early 1900s, our region witnessed one of the largest logging booms in the Pacific Northwest. The steamboats played a major role in the development of Coeur d'Alene, Harrison, St. Mary's, and Post Falls by transporting freight and workers all over the region. In the heyday of water commerce, Lake Coeur d'Alene was the scene of more steamboats than any lake west of the Great Lakes. So next time you are out enjoying Lake Coeur d'Alene, take a moment to realize that our city would not be where it is today without the steamboat. I hope you enjoyed this little history lesson, and I would like to make sure to give a huge shout out to Robert Singletary and the North Idaho Museum for being such an amazing resource for this content and the photos. Robert is a local historian, and he can be found many days at the museum. He also hosts a walking tour of the fort grounds and Fort Sherman in full 1980s military uniform. And the North Idaho Museum is a treasure trove of artifacts, pictures, and memorabilia. They are open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Make sure to make a stop there and learn more about our local history. Thank you for joining us today. If you are enjoying these shows, make sure to follow me and stay tuned each week for new content.